This presentation is for all the parents whose children are in the foundation phase. You might have asked, how can I assist my child at home? Here is the basic introduction. I have heard so many stories told by educators of how children are falling asleep in class. Please know that if your child is attending school, it is impossible for him or her to focus and participate in class if they've not had an adequate amount of sleep the previous night. When doing research on mental health, you will always find an aspect referring to setting a routine. When it comes to diet, sleep and exercise, having good, strong routines is linked to improved mental and physical health. People with more daily routines have lower stress levels. Please know that it takes at least 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. When talking about the basics, we cannot neglect our children's diet. The brain uses more energy than any other organ in the human body, and glucose is its primary source of fuel. That means that our children cannot function at school on an empty stomach. A good, healthy breakfast is important. But please note that in the brain, excess sugar impairs both our cognitive skills and our self-control. The examples at the bottom of a slide are not examples of a good breakfast. A child needs to have a good, healthy breakfast, but something that is not covered in refined sugar. When a child enters school, it is expected that the following aspects mentioned on this slide has already received attention and that the child is able to function well in all these areas. We are not going to look at self-care and independence, but what I would like to highlight is playing with others. A child that is attending school must be able to share and take turns. A child that's attending school must be able to express him or herself adequately and be able to listen to basic instructions. If your child is not able to listen to basic instructions, you can practice that at home by sending your child to go and fetch something or sending your child to a family member with a message. It is important that listening skills are practiced. I have yet to find a child that likes doing homework. And I know that many parents don't like doing homework either. Parents, please note, doing the homework is not your job. You are there to assist your child. If we do our children's homework, we are basically saying to them, I don't think that you can do this. That is not a positive message. Please note that teachers don't usually like giving homework either. It is a myth that teachers give homework just to keep children busy in the afternoon. A few homework tips. Be positive about homework. If your child says, I've got homework, and you react with, oh, really? What is it this time? We cannot expect our child then to be positive about homework. The attitude that you express about homework will be the attitude your child acquires. Make sure your child has a quiet, well-lit place to do homework. It is a myth that we can do homework whilst watching television or listening to our favorite song. Establish a set time each day for doing homework. Don't let your child leave homework until just before bedtime. A last tip that I would like to add is do not promise your child luxuries in return for doing homework. We do not want to teach our children that the only time that they will work hard is if they get something out of it. We want them to develop an internal motivation. Negative emotions can lead to a negative effect on the memory. Emotions such as stress, anxiety, and even fear, frustration. To combat these emotions with regards to homework, we can use the 12-minute rule. We basically say to our children, okay, you've got 12 minutes, which doesn't seem like such a long time. Let's see whether you can finish this section within 12 minutes. First of all, this creates an internal motivation. Most children like the challenge. It gives the child a goal to work towards. And once they're done, you can celebrate the success. Then we give a child a few minutes break. Not half an hour to run around outside, just 3 to 4 minutes where we do something else. That allows the brain to process the information. Please note that we cannot expect our children to focus for hours on end. When your child is 6 years old, he or she is capable of focusing for relatively, approximately, round about 12 minutes. 7 years for 14 minutes. 35 minutes for a 7-year-old is quite exceptional. So look at your child's age and then just double it and keep to those times. After that amount of time, the child needs to take a break. If he or she does not, what happens after that is basically a waste of time. In this slide, you see the pencil grip development. We need to understand that children will not automatically grip the pencil in the correct manner and that it takes time for them to develop the correct pencil grip. You might ask, though, why does it matter? Well, the incorrect pencil grip can cause our child to not have a good control over the pencil, which will in turn cause the child to write atrociously, or the hand can become tired, or it can slow them down. Eventually, as they grow older, you will find that they have to finish work much faster. A correct pencil grip will help with that. What does the correct pencil grip look like? On this picture, you will see both right hand and left hand. Please, while you're looking at this slide and reading it, please note that we cannot give a left-handed child scissors that's meant for a right-handed child. You need to try and cut with left-handed scissors when you're right-handed. I've tried. It is almost impossible. It causes a lot of frustration. So please, if your child is left-handed, ensure that he or she has scissors that's meant for left-handed people. A love for reading starts with the parent. You. If you love reading, if you read bedtime stories, if your child sees you reading, it will eventually create a love for reading within your child as well. When we learn to read, we learn by decoding a word. Decoding means that we break up the word into its smallest different sounds, which are the letters. That means that when we teach our children the ABC, we don't teach them A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, we need to teach them the letter sounds. A for apple, B for baboon, K for cat, D for donkey. If we do not do that, and the child sees a word, for instance, like cat, and the child reads it as C-A-T, you will notice that the child cannot hear what the word is. C-A-T? C-A-T. It does not sound like cat. Please do not teach your children the alphabet names, the letter names, but the sounds. Also note that each letter has a certain way in which it is formed. Correct letter formation is very important. 1, it allows our children to write more easily. 2, it prevents spelling mistakes when they grow older because the wrong letter formation can lead to a letter looking incorrect, which will be seen as a spelling mistake later on. If you do not know how to pronounce these sounds or how to form these letters correctly, you need to contact your child's teacher. Mathematics, the subject that so many people dread. Mathematics doesn't have to be something that is dreaded. It can actually be fun. What is incidental teaching? Well, that is when we are teaching our children mathematics without them knowing that we're doing so. For instance, when they're playing in the kitchen and learning all about volume. By using different containers and filling them up with water, we are showing children how much can actually go into one container, and they learn how much a liter is. The same with millimeters, centimeters. We ask our children to come and help us measure something. Or we measure out something with our steps. Or we compare how wide a step I have to the step you can take. Many times I hear parents say, my child can count up till 10. And then I'm excited and I tell the child, okay, show me. And the child goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I then hold up 3 fingers and I ask the child, how many fingers am I holding up? The child will then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means that the child does not have number concept. We need to develop the number concept by not just teaching the number symbols and names, but we need to teach the child amounts. 1 equals 1 Smartie, 1 sweet, 1 table, 1 door, 1 person. 2 equals 2 kittens, 2 puppies, 2 spoons, etc. Another aspect in mathematics that can cause headaches is time. To prevent it from becoming an issue, we can buy our child a watch, or we can refer to time on a regular basis. If our child asks, Mom, when are we eating? Instead of saying later, we can say 6 o'clock, and then explain to the child that 6 o'clock is when the long arm is pointing to the 12 and the short little hand of the clock is pointing to the 6. When we buy watches for our children, please don't buy ones such as the pink example on the slide. The pictures are very cute, but eventually it just becomes confusing. Another aspect in mathematics that is important is sorting. Sorting allows us to teach our child so many different things, such as the colors. Sort the Smarties according to the different colors. What is this color called? Blue, yellow, green, and red. We can also ask them to sort according to shape. All the circles, all the ovals, all the triangles together. That teaches our child shapes and also 3D objects, such as the sphere and the cone and the cube. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope you've learned that learning can be fun, especially if we use the concept of incidental learning and teaching at home, where we teach our children without them even knowing that they are learning. Try and use the 12-minute rule. And also, watch your own attitude, because our attitudes rub off. If you have any other questions, please contact your child's class educator, and they can assist you with more advice.